welcome to Max and Ruby Episode 4 Creepypasta, requested by Stacy Harris. Hope I got the name right. Well, anyway, for those of you who do not know, probably a few small people, this creepypasta is based on the television show Max and Ruby, and Max and Ruby is about two White Rabbit siblings going on many adventures, with usually Ruby bossing the little brother around. And the little brother coming up with some crazy solution that the sister hadn't thought of to their problem. I didn't care much for it. Thought it was boring. Well, anyway, this creepypasta is about a lost episode with very gruesome things in it. That is stupid. Well, anyway, here you guys go. It was just this Christmas that went by, and things were getting busy. I had to start buying presents for the family. I had finished shopping, but I still needed to grab a present for my little cousin. She is not very hard to shop for since she is 4. Foreshadowing. Funny. She likes things like Peppa Pig and My Little Pony. Yay! I mentioned the word pony in a video! I wonder how many views this is going to get me. I just knew I pissed off a lot of people. Oh well. She really liked, and I say liked for a reason, Max and Ruby. So when I decided to go looking for a present, I figured something like a Max and Ruby DVD would have been perfect, since she liked to watch it on a daily basis. However, Christmas meant that most of the online DVDs were sold out on most places. I went to look on eBay. You're ready for product placement! As well, but I figured I could not trust what the condition the DVDs would have been in, so I was stuck in a rut for a while until the package arrived. I was at home, still scrolling for a stupid DVD until I heard the sound of something being pushed into my letterbox. I got a hold of it before my dog did, and looked at the package. It seemed to be wrapped in fairly badly and with what looked like grease marks and stains on it. Naturally, like anyone would, I decided to open the package. Inside was something that I could not explain. It was a Max and Ruby DVD, but I had not seen one like it online. It was like some little kid had drawn on the front cover with a marker. The title was just Max and Ruby, with what looked like a poorly drawn illustration of Max and Ruby on the front of the cover. There were no names or anything, but on the back it had a list of 4 episodes, all with blunt titles. Episode 1, Episode 2, Episode 3, and Episode 4. Okay, wait, pause for a minute. Who would be that stupid to buy something off of eBay without looking at a picture or looking at the seller's description? Who would be that stupid? Wait. I was one time. It was only one time! I swear. I gave the DVD a watch over, and to my surprise, the episodes were all perfect quality. Yay! Really good sign there. And seemed to have no flaws. It was as if it was a real DVD, just with a homemade cover. The only thing I thought was odd was the episode selection screen. The episodes had names, but they were all called Max and Ruby 1, with the numbers being changed as it went down the list. The actual selection screen was just a plain white screen with the black text on with the episode list, and nothing else. After giving it much thought, what you were thinking? I decided to change the cover to something a little nicer by printing out a DVD cover that I have found on Google, and tracked down the names of the episodes so they were labeled right. I left the episodes list screen alone, because I figured it was self-explanatory. Christmas went by, and things are fine. I gave my little cousin her DVD, and she was happy with it all through Christmas, but that was only because she had not watched it yet. On Boxing Day... Wait. What's Boxing Day? I know I might be an idiot, but really, what is Boxing Day? The family had gone out for a meal and left me to babysit my cousin. I was not too bothered about being left at home. I figured now was a good time to put the DVD for her. I had put the DVD in and let it play while I was in the kitchen eating my dinner. From what I could hear, she had watched episodes 1 to 3 so far. I was just about to finish off my noodles when I heard my cousin screaming from the other room. Dropping everything, I ran into the living room and saw my cousin curled up on the floor screaming. I looked at the TV and I felt my heart in my throat. Great. Really good sign. Again, really good sign. What I caught a glimpse was the most disturbing thing I have ever seen. It was what appeared to be a frame of Max and Ruby standing next to each other in complete darkness. But what made it so horrible was their lack of faces. They had lost their noses and mouths, and their eyes were replaced with big hollow holes. The colors were a disgusting blood red, and there was a faint static in the background. The sound was replaced by what sounded like the Max and Ruby theme played backwards, with the faint sound of static in the mix of it all. It had to be the most disturbing thing I had ever seen. It must have been on a screen for at least 20 seconds before the screen went black and the DVD turned off. Which alone was weird because DVDs do not normally turn off by themselves. What about when they're in a power outage? I was able to calm my cousin down, tell her it was not real, and she had just had a nightmare, and as she had fallen asleep in front of the DVD. However, I knew in my mind it was completely real. Sure it was. Sure, whatever gets you through the day. My parents had rung me up and told me they were going to be out all night, so this is going to be the best opportunity to look at this DVD more closely. I did not mention it to them, and as soon as they hung up, seriously, that's what it says, they hung up, shouldn't it be they hung up? I grabbed the DVD and stuck it on my laptop. Don't you mean put it in your laptop? As soon as it loaded, I noticed that episode 4 had been replaced with Rip, Mommy, and Daddy, which sent a deep chill down my spine. Since my cousin was now asleep, I plugged in my earbuds so I can sleep without having to hear anything. So didn't you just say that your cousin was a girl? Then why the hell did you put he in? Why? Normally an episode of Max and Ruby would have 3 short stories, but this episode had only 1. It started off quite lighthearted, and Max and Ruby were playing tag in the garden. Oh, now I know this is a fake episode. Right. Sure. And their parents were on the porch watching them play. However, something was off. The sound was playing in reverse, and the parents' faces were that of sadness. A filmed grain became present, which grew worse and worse every second, and it panned to the mother and father in a voice of deep sorrow. The father spoke. "It's such a shame." He sighed. It then cut short to the sound of static and a large scream, followed by the sound of 2 people choking while the mother and father mumbled to each other in the background. It was impossible to understand them. The sounds were so realistic, and it made me almost physically sick. Not really physically sick, but almost. Right. How can you be almost physically sick? Sure, whatever. The screen cut to white for a split second. Then the screen transitioned over to Max and Ruby standing in front of what looked like a gravestone labeled Rip, Mommy, and Daddy. The 2 of them had no faces. At this point, there was no sound, apart from a faint static. The scene remained on screen for about a minute and a half, before it cut away to black. And then changed scene again, now showing Max and Ruby sitting in the Ruby's room while undecipherable whispering became apparent and grew louder over time. Both of them were sobbing uncontrollably while transparent clips of a murder playing in reverse flashed on the screen. The father pulled out a knife out of his back, picked up a bloody axe, and hacked away at the corpse of the mother before she came back to life as he walked up the stairs. By this point, the whispering became louder, and more of the whispering voices started to disappear, and the very second it came down to one voice. It was a rather angry woman's voice who screamed, "Burn in hell!" I was almost horrified. Sure. The screen had changed to the most disgusting yet saddest thing I have ever witnessed. It showed Max sitting in his room. He was standing on a chair with a noose hanging down from the ceiling. He had brought it around his neck. Oh boy. Really, we're now in one of these stories. Brilliant. The scene faded to black and the static got louder almost instantly. It then cut to Ruby walking in on her brother. She let out a gut-twisting scream. The camera was panned on her and face and the sound of the chair being kicked and the same choking from before began to play. The picture of Ruby's face stayed on screen for a good 5 minutes. This time, her eyes had returned as the same gaping holes. Ruby then started crying as before. There were no other facial features. The static slowly grew louder and drowned out the sound of her cries. The screen cut to black with the loud static. When the screen returned, Ruby was sitting now on her own in the garden by 2 gravestones. One was labeled "Rip, Mommy and Daddy," and the other "Rip, Brother." She then started to look at the camera with glowing blue pupils, then speak to me. "Well, whoever's watching this is because you never watched any of me and my brother's episodes. So, one of these days, you will regret this." Oh great, am I gonna suffer the same fate? Great. Whatever. Do your worst, come on. The screen had faded to black afterwards. At this point, I had already been sick and was sitting all shaken. The episode seemed to come to an end at last, as the Max Ruby theme played slowly in reverse. I was about to eject the DVD when the same image came up like it did on the TV. This time, however, there was a text about the 2 rabbits that said, "Death is only our release." There were no credits or anything else. It stayed on this for a few seconds before the DVD finally popped out of my laptop. I sat there trying to contemplate with what happened. In my shock and fear, I made the stupid decision to break the DVD up as much as I could before leaving the house, and shoved the pieces down the drain. Ooh, I hope you have a good garbage disposal! Thankfully, I kept a few screenshots and saved them to my laptop. The next couple of days went past without anything unusual happening. I had a few nightmares about the DVD, but luckily that was all. My cousin had gone back home with the rest of the family. It was late at night and my parents had gone out to dinner, leaving me to watch TV. I heard what sounded like something posting something through the door. At this point, the DVD had left my mind since I had not told anybody about it. However, it came flooding back when I looked down at the letter in front of me. It was just messily folded up and it read, "Death is our only release." And that was Max Ruby episode 4. This one was stupid. Well, where to begin where everything is wrong with it? Let me see. There were way too many grammatical errors towards the end. It's like the author wrote this in a big rush. Secondly, well, another thing is, it uses every single cliche in the book. On top of that, the presence of this creepypasta is uninteresting. It's completely stupid. It doesn't make any sense half the damn time. And, well, that's about why it is the most stupid from my view. And with that, I give this creepypasta a D. For really horrible writing, very stupid premise, and very rushed storytelling. Well, bye. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Bye-bye. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. Like what you saw? Like what I did? Then comment and subscribe to my channel. Also, I also have a Facebook page and a Twitter. If you want to try to follow me or like my Facebook page, then go right ahead. I'm not going to try to force you. Please do it. That is all. Bye.